Hello guys, welcome to the Force Mentality. Vincent Gattuso here with Niko, Padilla, and Mcgrath, captain and top goal scorer of the Nichols College men's soccer team. And yeah, how you guys doing? How are we doing today?
Doing great, man. We just got back from lift, got out a little early. We were doing Mac's house today, so it was just something quick, and then we got to leave.
Nice, love that.
Yeah.
I mean, the season ending, obviously it wasn't a season that we would expect or want to see. How did you guys feel about that and how it went?
Well, to start the season, we had very high hopes. To start off, preseason wasn't really kind to us. We had a lot of cancellations due to weather and assistant coaches quitting last second due to personal reasons. And it felt as though that first win that we had, first game, our spirits were up, 2-1 win on the road. We thought we were going to do something really well in that second game. We just suffered a lot of injuries, a lot of knockouts. We lost, importantly, our captain, Ryan Fraley, with a season-ending injury. I forget what he hurt.
He broke his leg?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Broke his leg. And then, unfortunate things. I missed a PK, went into overtime. I ended up tearing my quad that game as well. So, just after that, it was more of a snowball effect. The morale went from high to low, and we had to rely more on freshmen who usually yearly take time to adjust to the game and build, but we couldn't do that. We had to throw them right in the fire, and that's what happens.
Looking forward into next season then, how's the team looking now from spring season? Do you guys feel more confident going into next season? Do you guys feel it's going to be a comeback season almost?
Honestly, yeah. We had a spring season. I think we actually played a lot better. I think we were going to gel a lot better than we did last year. With the injuries and stuff last year, it was tough to get a good core of starting and all the time and gelling together and playing well. And we didn't really have that because our lines were really rotated a lot.
I see that. Would you guys say that was probably the main aspect of why the season didn't go as well? It was just morale and chemistry?
And I think we got unlucky a lot. We'd play well the entire game, and then one mistake would lose us that game. And then we'd be chasing the game after that, and we just couldn't score.
Yeah. It comes down to experience, because I remember my freshman year, years before, we wouldn't always be up. We'd always find ourselves climbing back against top conference teams, but we had experienced players who understood if we worked the whole game. We had young players, especially with no captains on the field. Occasionally, our only solo captain, Nick Cancelero, would be hurt. He wasn't even there most of the season, so no captaincy, all freshmen, they get scored on, and it's they just quit, they give up. That's inexperience. When we had, 3 captains on the field with all junior, seniors, it's a different ball game. And I felt as though after that season, it was good and bad, because the freshmen understood what it took to play because they got the playing time, and they understood what the energy it took to stay in games. Like Nick said, when we go down, one mistake, we can't let that define us. We got to work, be more hungry. And this offseason, personally, I was named captain late, last game of the season, going into next season. And personally, I was dealing with some things, and I wasn't really there for the team, and kind of rubbed off on the team, everyone arguing. But we all sat down as a group, just got everything off our chest, made our plan for the winter, the off season. We made Excel sheets, we made plans, all that stuff leading in, and we got field rentals to practice. We just wanted to build more as a team, play as much as possible at high intensity with each other as much as we could. And I felt as though we did that this winter, came into spring with a goal. Although it's one game, our goal is to kill that team, because that's how we jumpstart. That's how we show the work that we put in, because I feel that last semester team wouldn't have came out with the energy that we brought this spring.
So would you guys say, as 2 new leaders, moving forward on the team, you guys have already made an impact, it seems?
Yeah, I'd say so. Mcgrath, quick on the wings. He's more of the leader up top. He's the only senior last season, grad student up top. The rest are younger. Obviously, we have some juniors up top there.
He leads by example.
Yes. So, he's always the one to kind of say good job to everybody. I'm more the mean guy, I guess, like kind of just like get on you or like call you trash. Like I want to get in your head mentally, as well as like play hard, because I just want to bring a different level of intensity and energy towards people. You know, obviously some people need the balance of like good, because some people get frustrated and go down. You know, that's something I need to learn on my part as well.
So to make sure the team has a strong mentality, you know, they're not going to break easy, and they're going to keep almost, maybe you could say, the Forza mentality, you know, or even, you know, a winning mentality.
Yeah.
As well.
I also think that so even like our sophomores last season were basically freshmen, because they didn't have a freshman season.
That's fair.
So we had basically two freshman classes who have never played a full season of college soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So like more than half of our team had no experience playing.
Yeah. And that ultimately, I mean, from what we're talking about, it seems what it comes down to, you know, especially those last moments of those games that, you know, in the last couple of minutes, you got to dig deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to find a way, and you cannot crack under pressure. And when you don't have the players that know what it's like to be in that position at a level such as college ball, that's where experience is needed in that exact moment of time. But, you know, you guys, well, you, Nico, we're talking about having an injury and having to go through an injury. You know, me being also someone who's went through injury, who's torn his ACL, I know it's not easy in the process of getting yourself not only physically back into shape, but mentally back into shape to go out there and be able to do what you were able to do before, and even want to try to exceed that and do even better. So now you're just coming back from injury. How like, what was the steps you took? How did you feel during that time, and how did you get through it?
Yeah, so obviously going into that game, you know, everything was high spirits, you know, like ring season, like we're about to win a ring, we're about to go far, we're good. Came off that road win, which was big for us to start off the season that way, and to end that game the way it did emotionally for me, you know, missing the PK, I was emotionally frustrated. Nothing was going our way. We were getting chances, couldn't finish, and it's like the whole game, and I missed it early, so I went through the whole game like with the game on my shoulders, you know, like if we don't win, this is on me, so I need to like produce something. And just going out that way towards the end, it just mentally it was very frustrating. You know, you could say it doesn't matter because it's the second game of the season, non-conference. You know, realistically it doesn't matter, but in terms of team morale, you know, the momentum, you always want to keep that, especially with such a young team. You want to keep the high hopes. And when I got injured, you know, it was more, I trusted my teammates because we ended up winning the next two games, I'm pretty sure. You know, I trusted them, we were doing good. But personally, like for me, I was going through some stuff, and soccer was like my scapegoat. So just itching to play, I wanted to get out there and play, you know, just get my mind off of things. And it kind of led me to play while injured, which was stupid of me. And I tried to come back quick, you know, just ice, wrap, all those stuff. And I ended up just keep tweaking it. And when it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not even helping the team anymore at this point. It's more selfishness, but you got to get out of that mentality because, you know, I was down on myself, and I just wanted to come back and help the team in any way I could.
Now, what's interesting about when you're coming back from an injury is like you view things differently. Because I remember a time, you know, for instance, like pre-torn ACL, I'm a player that I would fly into challenges. Mm-hmm. You know, I played hard, I played rough, you know. So post-surgery, these are things that I'm thinking about now, because I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe I used to fly into challenges like that and think like, you know, because when you before an injury, it's almost like you feel like you're, I don't want to say unstoppable, but like, you know, like nothing could hurt you, like nothing bad could happen. But after injury, you know, like you view things differently. You view certain parts of the game differently, where you're like, maybe I don't want to go into that because, you know, you don't want to get hurt again. You don't want to feel that pain again. And that's when I say, like, physically recovering is easy. Mentally, it's probably the hardest aspect of it. I know Nick, you know about that as well, because Nick is someone who have also, you know, experienced a ACL injury. And as well as for you, like, how was that for you as well, coming back from that?
So I did it when I was relatively young. I did it my freshman year. So coming back, it was like, oh, like, this is fine. Like, I'll just keep playing. Like, there was, like, because I've picked up little injuries over, like, rolled your ankle, whatever, like, and I've always played through everything. And this was my first, like, major injury, so.
They also didn't know it was a torn ACL,
yeah,
right?
so I did the first game of our freshman year, and then I played the rest of the season on it, and then I got surgery after freshman year, and then so I missed our entire sophomore year. So, I don't know, like, my mindset was just like, oh, I'll come back, it'll be fine, you know, and once you get cleared to play and you're coming back, it's like, oh, like, you know, I have things to protect now. Like, my knees, like, will never be the same. Or, like, you know, so you think twice, like, running into that 50-50 with that 200-pound guy. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, never be the same. But to be honest, I mean, everyone have seen it. I'm not sure if you've noticed it or you're just doing your thing, but it almost seemed that a lot of aspects of your game ended up getting better. Your shooting ability, the power behind your shot, your speed is still definitely there. How were you able to improve on that?
I feel like I've gone through a lot of evolutions as the type of player that I am. So in high school, I would play more in the center mid, so I had to be more like 50-50 challenges, like, you know. But as like after the injury, it's more of like a finesse player. Like, I'm not gonna like get a bunch of tackles a game, but I'll be like on the ball in like getting chances, shooting type thing. So I think since I've been hurt, I've evolved my game as a player.
And would you say that it was you adapting to what you would say to dealing with your injury, or finding another way to be an even better player?
I think, yeah, stuff like that. And I think it was more of like, oh, this is what I'm good at. I'm going to try and play to what I'm good at, you know? Yeah.
Now, Nico, do you feel that any part of your game is going to change? We know you, I mean, you're a player that could take on 3-4 people and then, you know, break up that cluster in the midfield by breaking that midfielder line. Finding people, playmaker. Do you see yourself changing in any way, or do you plan on, you know, keeping your same style of play?
I mean, obviously, when I'm 100%, I want to go back to, you know, what I know. You know, most of that stuff is just more natural, just having fun playing. But now, when I'm limited to that, my head always has to be up. You know, I can't rely on like my foot skills or my agility to be able to beat someone one-on-one, because I don't have that no more, because I'm at like 70-60%. You know, they're just going to tackle me. And then that fear mentally of getting hurt again, it's more, I've really communicated with my teammates a lot. You know, like with Mcgrath, like the type of runs he's going to make, like if I want him to check, you know, 1-2s, it's more relying on my teammates to know, like, my ability as well. I want them to know, like, I'm not going to be egotistical, like just in the scrimmage, I told the huddle, you know, our coach was explaining how in the midfield there was someone open in the last 5 minutes, and of course, like, I was the person in the last 5 minutes who was slowing down because of my leg. I'm not gonna be like act oblivious to it and be like, oh, I'm the only, like, it's fine. Like, no, I told my team, I was like, that's on me. You know, I'm not marking up, like, coach, you should sub me out, type of thing. So just more picking my head up, 1-2 touch, you know, how coach wanted me to play before, because he doesn't really like me dribbling like that, but that's just how I played. But now it's more, you know, and honestly, it's something I'm gonna keep going with even when I am 100%, because the team moves very well that way. Yeah. You know, there'd be occasions where I wouldn't trust my long ball, like to Mcgrath making runs in the back. Yeah. And now I'm like trying to find him, play those balls through. And occasions I would dribble, and then that would just mess everything up. But I'm finding new parts of my game to.
I think at that point too, it's good that you're gonna keep, you know, doing that. At that moment now, it's knowing when to use each side, like whether you're gonna, you know, take some players on, or whether you're gonna do the quick look up and pass. Yeah. You know, because sometimes that individual brilliance, you know, from you, could help in some aspects of the game.
Sometimes it hurts as well.
And sometimes it could hurt, but that's why it's good to know when to use one side of it and when to use the other side of it. Yeah. So, you know, that's good though, that, you know, you're, you know, getting better through injury, and also, you know, learning a different aspect of the game that you didn't really use before. Also, with an injury, was there anything during that time when you felt down or you were doubting yourself, where you would have, what ultimately was your Forza? What was the thing that motivated you? What was the thing that pushed you? What was the thing that gave you that positive mindset to keep going?
It was definitely, I think, my parents, and I expect a lot from myself, especially on the field. So when I got hurt and I couldn't play, and I was just at home doing nothing, it was definitely my parents and just wanting to be back and playing and doing well.
For me, I would say probably the same thing. My family, like when I'm back home, I have my whole family plays soccer, and they look at me like the big guy, like whatever. Although I'm not like famous or anything,
yeah.
But they, you're a role model for your little cousins and everything, and your family looks at you proudly. And when I'm on the field, they like to see me happy and smile and having fun, and that's how I play the game, because that's what I just love to do. So, when it comes to times when it gets tough, I just think about when I was a kid or my family wanting to see me happy, and I deserve to give that.
I mean, if you guys would have any kind of, you would say, a piece of advice for players out there going through an injury, or players out there looking to come back in their season, what would that piece of advice be? What would you tell that person if they came to you?
Wait until you're 100%. Don't think like you could last at like 70, 80, play through an injury like that hard-nosed mentality, like Kobe Bryant, like I'm gonna play with this tournament. Like, no, just wait till you're 100. That's the best possible way, because you always gotta play 100%. You can't play less than yourself, than your ability, I feel like.
And what about you, Nick, as far as like, let's say it was someone like with like an ACL, Achilles injury?
So after you're fully cleared, I would say that confidence is huge, because I've had times where I wasn't playing confident. I'm like, wow, like I should just like quit. Like after this, like this isn't worth it anymore. Like I'm not as good as I used to be. I'll never be as good. But I think confidence is key. If you play with confidence, you're gonna play well, and then you're gonna feel like, oh wow, like I have so much left.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here today. Good luck to your guys' next season. I hope you guys do really well. I'll make sure to keep up with it and see how you guys are doing. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching with us. Vincz Gattuso,
Nico, Padilla,
and always remember to keep that Forza mentality.